Hey everyone, welcome to the video. So we decided to get Barrage on our rank 1 account and do a few hits, see how strong it is. Now our rank 1 account still never got RCs, so we're just stuck with laser hits. So right off the bat I think Barrage is gonna help a lot, since the biggest threat to lasers is just mines. But as we do some hits we'll see shock launchers are kind of annoying too. We'll also pick up GBE since it's right there and should help out in using Barrage and some more shocks. But we're rank 19 now and see how far we can push. Already facing a few bases with shock launchers. And they're also annoying since they have a lot of range and can hit a bunch of lasers. And we didn't really get shock launchers ourselves because while they could be really strong right now, I think long term want to rush to 6 ER and get that tech, especially bombers since they're the strongest troop at 6. And the faster we get there, I think the easier it's gonna be. Especially since we don't have RCs right now. But since this base is pretty much a compact, we can go with 4-4 heavies and lasers. In this case, I like splitting them up. So doing 2 heavies on the right. Also throwing a barrage for those mines since after that stuff goes down, lasers are gonna shoot across the gap. And we can actually use that to our advantage. Bringing in 2 heavies on the left just to distract that DC a bit. And now we can start shocking that shock launcher. And you see the heavies start walking around, but lasers are going to shoot across the gap. And they'll put in some good work, killing that SL and almost both of those ERs. Once they kill enough, they'll wrap back around. So at least on these kind of bases, I think lasers work pretty good. Can shock that Doom Cannon again. And here's where I think Barrage comes in handy. Just clearing all those mines where if we didn't have it, the lasers and heavies would just have to walk through it. Just like that with 2 barrages, you clear most of that stuff. And then it's just the last few ERs. Another trick with the hot pot is throwing the shock before it pops, because sometimes if you're too light with shocking the hot pot, then it can roast all your lasers. It looks like we'll get a 219, so pretty decent. And we don't have a ton of defense. I think we're still skipping that Doom Cannon, but it's enough for now. I think that deck layout at 5 really makes this kind of a weird meta. I know a lot of people are using a mix of lasers and RCs, which I think is cool, but at least this account is sticking with just lasers. But we can go in for another match. Looks like this one is pretty similar, also got shock launchers. So I think we'll take the same approach. But we could bring in 1 Zook on the left side. Because another advantage of Zooks is do a lot of damage itself. So you can use it to speed up just taking down buildings. Because 1 laser on its own doesn't do a lot. Kind of need them in a group. But 1 Zook can take care of a whole section of the base. So we can delay drop the heavy Zook, shock the SL once. And as it clears most of those buildings, we can shock the other shock launcher. And usually 3 shocks on the right side is what I've been doing. We'll also shock the Doom Cannon because we don't want to lose too many lasers. And just like with the last hit, we clear a bunch of those buildings, almost take down that ER. Can barrage some mines to clear later on. And right now that Zook isn't doing much, but I think it will the last half of the hit. Once most of these buildings are down with the lasers, the Zooks help kill those final ERs. We lost about half the lasers, so can do a few second wins. And now just save GB again for a barrage. I don't think we've ever had a season with all these mines but no way to clear them until this late. So again, with laser hits, I think barrage is really handy. Though I would say if you're still using RCs, maybe it's better to skip barrage. Sooner you rush to 6 and maybe get bombers, I think it's going to be much easier that way. Because rockets aren't until after 6, so once you get bombers, I think you can full clear almost any 5 ER. It looks like this will be another win, and we'll keep going. Here's a more spread out base, so I think we'll take a different approach. Usually I still like running a few heavies and lasers, but since we have seekers, we can use one for that right ER. And a cool thing about having 100 troop health is that even with building damage, the mortars don't one-shot lasers. So you can tank a mortar shot and keep on going. In fact, Kavan might heal them back up. We'll clear a bit more and then flare right next to the Doom Cannon and shock it. Also shock the Boom Cannon because I think it was looking at Kavan. But again, the idea is a Seeker takes care of the right ER and heavy lasers deal with the other ones. Also shock the hot pot since sometimes it can splash on lasers. And using barrage for mines. And then we can flare left once it's done. Now this base is a bit easier since he doesn't have shock launchers. I think with that, might be a fizzle, but we don't have to worry about it just yet. Again, with lasers you get all that splash, and it looks cool to watch him shoot, so that's another bonus. You're like flaring the building right in front of the ER, so it gets a bit of damage, and then flaring onto the ER itself. So we'll get a 207. I think with these laser hits, anything above 2 minutes should be a solid time. So we can keep on going. Looks like we got a 22. Yeah, sometimes matchmaking is like that. So you get people with like 2-3 more rank chests ahead of you, which kind of sucks, but it's how it is. Wouldn't lose too many stars. But it's basically the same base with shock launchers, and he has a laser beam up there. So we can try a similar hit, maybe going from the left side more. Shock launchers do make it a lot more annoying, since you gotta deal with those, either with shocks or using barrage to take it out. Could clear a few mines. Again, it's 3 mines that kill a laser. The good thing about him having shock launchers up there is during this first half of the hit, we don't really have to worry about much buildings. We did lose a few lasers, but should be fine. Some split off, which are gonna just die out, though we can bring them back with Kavan. Can pop another second wind, then drop the Seeker. And we're waiting on the Seeker, so when we have to shock that shock launcher, it also helps since we have to shock it anyways for the lasers. So we'll do one more shock on the right side. And yeah, not a lot of lasers left. Since we used so many shocks for other shock launchers, didn't have enough barrage for mines. So we can afford one more shock and might barely get this ER down, but probably not the last one. Try to get that laser down, but I think it's gonna stay standing. It's still got 4 ERs. And looks like we might get lucky here. Sees Kavan died on the beach, so, well, unlucky for him, but he's still left 2 ERs up. And probably not going to finish. But I think that'll push us into 20. we'll get that chest. And I think next steps for this account is just saving till 6 ER. We still don't have the Doom Cannon. Maybe we can try getting in, pushing Diamond, but I think it's also more chill if you just save for the next ER. But even if it means we lose for a few days, I think it's fine. Still just a week in the season, so plenty of time left to get ahead. So if you don't have RCs yet, and you're only using lasers, I think Barrage is a good pickup, but otherwise, it might be worth just saving ahead of 6, since it won't be long till bombers start showing up, and well, if you have them, it's a big advantage. But let me know if you do get in, if it works out. But that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.